Live fitter and longer with the Fitzness Show, hosted by fitness expert, author, and TV personality Fitz Kohler. She'll tell you why diets are dumb, supplements are snake oil, and the truth about how you can earn a lean, hard, pain-free, and athletic body. Now for our favorite bossy blonde, Fitz Kohler.
Hi team, it's Fitz, your fitness expert and very noisy race announcer from Fitzness.com, and welcome to the Fitzness Show. Today we are going to talk all about racing, and in fact the fun races that both Rudy and I have announced in the fall of 21. And then our next show is going to be all about the races we have coming up in the spring of 22, which is very exciting, and we're so damn grateful that races are back. So we have a lot to share. And speaking of sharing, I would like to share that I finally have books back in stock. So for those of you who are waiting for my Noisy Cancer comeback, they're all here and you can order them today, and I will sign them and I will send your little gift with purchase, your I Can Do Hard Things sticker. So order them at Fitzness.com and have a good read, and you can have a good laugh at my expense, because apparently sometimes cancer can be funny. So I'm going to stop talking. Actually, I'm going to continue talking, but I'm going to talk to somebody else. Rudy.
Good morning, Fitz Kohler, my favorite bossy blonde.
How you doing, mister?
I'm doing okay. How about you? How are things on the wrong coast?
The right coast. Well, we are... Well, you know, we are free and it's sunshiny and it's warm and it's all things Florida's supposed to be.
Yeah, well, actually, we have what looks like will be a fairly nice day here in San Diego, California, but it's been cold, been really cold, like mornings in the 30s.
Which hasn't deterred you, you big weirdo, from putting on your wetsuit and getting in the ocean. Who does that?
Yeah, well, the lobster await. So, diving's been good, but it has been cold. I think I need to get my dry suit out and kind of change things up, but it's been fun.
I would need a dry suit and a parka.
Really. And some kind of portable heater that goes down with you.
Yes, that's really what I would need. I would need someone to turn up the thermostat on the ocean, because you guys are fairly sick and demented. Even during the hottest part of the summer, the Pacific Ocean is simply far too cold.
Well, it's because our currents come from up north, like Alaska, and come down. And your currents come from south. Nice. I wish it was a little warmer, but it's not. And that's the price you pay.
Okay, now here's the real question, because if everybody knows that I'm an animal lover, and he loves animals, but not as much as I do. So he captures these poor sweet lobsters that are just going around minding their own business, having special days, time with family on the bottom of the ocean floor. And then he captures them. And so my request is not that you put them in the bucket if they're going to only have an hour left alive on Earth. I think they should run freely around your boat. So have you been?
Well, yeah, I have. I've been, instead of putting them in a bucket or whatever, I just put them out on the deck and they run all over the place and think, oh, wow, this is really cool.
You're welcome, lobster. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Brendan Finn. He says they're delicious.
That's right, Brendan. They are. Best way to kill butter. You got it, buddy.
So I'm going to give Brendan a big thank you, because he just sent a very nice iPhone that he wasn't using anymore to my mom.
Oh, nice guy. Thank you, Brendan.
That's right.
Very nice.
Very sweet, very generous. My mom's super excited. And in return, I sent him a Florida Gator trucker hat. So I bet he's going to look very handsome in that hat.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, and we know Brendan from the Buffalo Marathon.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, Buffalo.
We went to the zoo with Brendan.
Buffalo coming up soon. No, that's right. We can't talk about the next year's show. This is just about the wrap up.
Previous races. Well, yeah, because all the races we had are going to come again, and I want people to know how wonderful they are. So I'm going to kick things off by talking just briefly about one of the events I do without you, which again, our schedule was cut back this year from the norm, but Women Run the D in Detroit on Belle Isle. Now, when I first started announcing the race and they told me it was going to be on Belle Isle, coming from Florida, I thought, oh, an island in Michigan. There's going to be steel drum band and some Jamaicans. And no, they don't have that kind of island there. It's Belle Isle is an island off the city of Detroit, but it's kind of like a state park and it's beautiful and it's a women theme race. But we love our men. And that is such a fun event. I think you would love it. It's very diverse. So our participants look like they come from everywhere. I mean, they're mostly Americans, but it's such a diverse crowd and everybody's so nice and everybody's very huggy and squishy.
You're two of your favorite things. When is that one, Fitz?
That one comes just the third weekend of September every year. And it's by Epic Races. So if people went to epicraces.com, they would be able to check out that event. But I've been announcing it, I think, since 2015 or 2014. It's just an absolute love fest. And yeah, we have heart heroes. So we promote heart health. And the owner, Eva Solomon, she's one of the best. And she puts on about, I think, 15 to 17 high quality events in Michigan.
Wow. Doesn't she put on some triathlons too? Some short distance tries?
Yeah. In fact, that was her original foray into race directing was triathlon because she's a major triathlete. She's done tons of Ironman. She's a marathoner. She's done everything. But she actually has swimming only events and duathlons, and she has cross country ski events.
Oh, wow.
How fun would that be?
That would be a blast.
Yeah, I don't know what it looks like to announce one of those, but I'd be willing to give it a go.
It looks cold.
I know. I would definitely need the parka and the heater and all the things I would need to go diving in the ocean with you. All right. And then the next one I'm going to talk about because you weren't there is Fargo.
Oh, now I'm jealous of all the ones you get to announce without me, but Fargo sounds like it's super fun.
Fargo Marathon. So that's one of the big popular races for 50 staters.
Oh, okay. Right.
It's not only the best marathon in Fargo, or North Dakota. I don't think they have very many, but it is high quality. Mark Knutson is the founder of that one. And it's interesting because it starts and finishes inside the Fargo Dome.
That's awesome. And Mark's a runner himself, so, and as many of our race directors are, which is really cool because they get it. They really understand what we're looking for in a quality event. Yeah,
and he has this insistence on things being great. So he's also the creator of the DC Wonder Woman Run series and Justice League, and he just knows how to do it right. And you're right. I mean, most of our race directors are athletes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. We don't have too many that aren't. But not only is he an athlete, but he's the race director that's always on the heavy lifting equipment, and he always has the work gloves. You would also think that maybe he was a contractor and worked building homes because he's always got the heavy duty gloves on. He's lifting crap and moving things around. But yeah, Fargo Marathon, super fun. It's a very flat course, as I've been told. I think there's probably, even when we say there's a flat course, probably has a little bit of elevation in there, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised to hear that's a flat course. Just for some reason, I think of North Dakota in general as being fairly hilly, but not, huh?
Very pancakey. Yeah. That's actually the first place I saw tumbleweeds. It's very exciting. There's all sorts of things in Fargo you have not seen because you have not announced Fargo Marathon. But let me
would you let some of these race directors you work for know that I have luggage and
yes,
I'm available?
I do. I'm actually surprised they all haven't hired you instead of me.
No. Supplementary. Supplemental.
That's right. And the wise thing to do would be to invite you along with me because we're even better together.
Hello, Mark. Oh yeah. I'm on a show right now, but call me back later and we'll make everything work. Thanks for calling.
Oh, so good. It's just like
just timing.
Yeah. So the best parts of Fargo were flattish course, the finishing inside and ending starting and finishing inside the Fargo Dome. Very cool. It's the football stadium for North Dakota State University, home of the Bison. So I got to wear my Buffalo hat again. how often you get to do that.
you would any excuse to wear your hat.
That's right. That's right. Back to being the grand poobah of something or other. But yeah, it was a really fun group of people. The numbers were down in 21 as they were across the board.
Right.
But it's cool. And then you got all the nice people in Fargo. Fargo's the land of oofda, and don't you know? It's really cute.
A filler word, oofda.
Oofda. You got to use it a lot. And I had all the runners to collectively yell oofda. It was very exciting. But Fargo is about 6 days worth of an event. So you can start, there's 5K, there's a cycling event, there's dog races, there's kids races, and then there's the half and full and relay. I think there's a couple of other things I'm missing, but it's a heck of a lot of fun. It's special, and you could just be in Fargo for 6 days, and who doesn't want to do that?
And what's the party factor?
Oh, very high.
Or a fun factor is very high.
Yeah, very high, especially because we're all condensed in the dome. So you just kind of have more access to people, and people were very friendly. It looked like everybody left with 7 new friends.
Oh, okay. Now, when you say dome, I know you're talking about covered. Does it retract? Or is it? Oh, okay.
No, you know what? I think it's one of those northern things that they have to put domes or they can't play because it's so freaking cold. I think Fargo right now is like negative 400 degrees or something like that. But even outside the dome, they had all this equipment I've never seen before. So again, I've born and raised in Florida, but they had the snow plows, which are very large. And they had many of them just stored in the corner of the dome parking lot. Fargo.
That's what you've got when you've got snow.
It's very exciting. And there's an airplane museum, which was lovely. So anyways, Fargo is something people should go to, but it's normally not a fall race. It's the 3rd week of May. So I believe this year it's between May 16th and 21st.
And as you mentioned, it's a big 50-stater stop.
And a Fitz Kohler stop. And hello there. Happy New Year, my friend. Good to see you. Okay, so moving on, Fargo. I loved Fargo. I highly recommend Fargo, and I'll be there again this year for sure. So hopefully everyone will come see me. All right, next on our list, you did Santa Monica Classic. How was that, mister?
That's always a fun one. It's one of the smaller races that the McCourt Foundation, who puts on LA Marathon, etc., does. And but it's in Santa Monica. It's starts about a mile from the pier, which is super cool. Really beautiful, iconic landmark in Southern California, and finishes just right off the pier. And as a matter of fact, our Finish Line Festival is at the pier, as you know, because you've been there. Fun race, real, again, small, everything scaled down, like you said, probably, I don't know, we had 2,000, 2,500 people, a nice group, fun group. And I think, as you've seen, because that again was earlier in the fall, everybody was so excited to be racing again.
Yeah.
Just to be getting together and see, and you could see people go, I haven't seen you in a year or whatever. I'm not talking about me, just each other. Just
of course.
A couple people said, "Oh, yeah, I haven't seen you in a year."
That guy.
But Santa Monica was really fun, and had to work with another announcer. He did a good job.
I was just going to say the only one thing they're missing.
Yes, only one thing missing from that event. And many people reminded me of that. Thank you very much. Your posse was there.
Good.
And but Santa Monica is always fun and actually pretty competitive. It's a 5K and a 10K, and boy, we get some really, really fast men and male and female athletes. The Janes come out. The Janes,
they're great. And then there's a high school competition.
Yeah, good point. That's true. There's a high school competition, but it always ends up, it ends up being a shootout between, this is terrible.
Like Santa Monica High School, and there's a second one I can't remember. But
yeah, Santa Monica.
Hollywood.
The one is Santa Monica. I don't recall the other one, and it's just great competition, really fun. friendly competition between the two schools. And I think the winner like changes every year. It's like they go back and forth.
I don't know. You keep using the word friendly, but I feel like they're probably out there having a fist fight at the awards ceremony.
No fist fights. No tripping, tickling, no tickling particularly.
Right.
You see yourself, you're running really hard and somebody's.
So speaking of shenanigans, the next race I'm going to address that I did not announce, but I did a little running with the Boston Marathon. Just putting that on our list.
That was, yeah. I'd love to have that on our list, but it was certainly on your list.
Yes, it was. It was very funny. Again, numbers down. If Boston Marathon is down, then that's
right.
Reflective of the industry. I think normally they have 30. This year they allotted 20,000 registrations and only 15,000 or so showed up.
Yeah, and I know you did a recap, so we don't need to go into it too deeply, but what a big day for you. What a fantastic
by that.
You have everything you touch that day is in the house. There's your heat sheet.
Well, you know what the real problem of this experience is not the airfare, not the hotel, was the fact that I bought all the stuff. So I got the shorts and I got the shirt and some sort of sweatshirt, half crop thing and 2 jackets. Somebody should have canceled my credit card before I went out there. That was a real problem.
Well, I remember that we had a conversation, or several conversations before that. And I asked you about, are you going to buy this or you're going to buy that? I knew, of course, you were going to buy a jacket. Okay, that was going to happen.
Right.
And you think you bought off on that one for sure. But look at that. That says Boston. Oh, that says Boston Marathon.
Well, and you know what? It's not that I haven't run races before. I've run plenty of races, but I've just been kind of, conservative as far as shopping. I get Disney half marathons. I don't need any more Disney crap. I grew up here. They give you the shirt. It's fine. I don't need the hoodie that says I ran a Disney, whatever.
Right.
But I got to Boston and man, I understand because when we announced Big Sur, for example, people are getting everything. They're, every part of their body needs to be covered. Big Sur logo from head to toe. And we're so fortunate we have so much race gear from the races we announced. But there I was, credit card out.
Hey, Boston's a big deal. I'm sure I'd be right there with you buying a little of this and a little of that, or a lot of this and a lot of that. It's a big deal. And it was a once in a lifetime opportunity for you. Wink, wink.
Apparently I can be suckered into adventures pretty easily. So hopefully once in a lifetime, but you never know. Right.
Well, sounds like, and all the photos, looks like you had an amazing time. You pulled off an incredible effort. And I know a lot about your training. So I'm very, very, very impressed. And I will always be impressed with your Boston Marathon. Congratulations.
Thank you. I apparently am very impressed with myself, which is why I put it on our race announcing schedule, even though we didn't. But then after that, I had a very special race. I got to be chair of my local Making Strides for Breast Cancer event. And because I was chair, I was like, I'm going to announce this thing too. They've never had a race announcer.
Well, they stepped up. They stepped up and they got you to commit all the way.
They did. And I love it. And they've had a host for the keynote part, like the beginning rigmarole, but they've never had someone to yell go or to welcome in athletes. And, I didn't like being the patient and I don't like being the girl with cancer. So it's nice, even though I was the girl with cancer, it's nice to just go back into the experience as the host, because then again, I can turn it and make it about everybody else. I'm very uncomfortable with the survivor or patient role. So it was a really nice way to take part. And we're going to save this for next, but I'm super excited because I'm also now going to be announcing the official breast cancer marathon, the Donna, in just a few weeks in early February in Jacksonville. And that will be very happy.
Now that's a big deal. All right, you can save it, but that's a very, very big deal. I'm so excited that they were able to get you for that. You are the perfect match for an event like that for lots of reasons. Of course, your own personal experience with cancer, and you're just, you'd be a great spokesperson. Can't wait to hear all about it. I'm jealous. Very jealous on that one.
Don't be jealous of that one. Hey, my credentials are unenviable, but whatever. I'm thrilled. I'm really excited. But that was really great. And I love loving on all of our athletes. As you know, it's nice to give everyone a squeeze and everyone a high five and celebrate all the victories. But it's interesting with these races that are specifically dedicated to a disease. I used to have an ovarian cancer race in Ann Arbor on Mother's Day, and just the kind of event that rips your heart out. But what a luxury to be able to pour very specific love on these people that are patients or survivors. And as you know, I don't go low key on the lovin'. So it's a special opportunity. Oh, hold on. This is Joe Moreno. He says, you guys are cool. Joe, Quad Cities Marathon. Well, Joe, what are you waiting for? What's your date?
Oh, Quad Cities. What an iconic event. Come on, Joe. Come on. We've heard nothing but good things. Absolutely nothing but good things. And we'd like to make joyful noise at your event. So step on over, buddy. Give us a call. But thanks for dropping in, Joe.
I like this. We're doing business online on the Fitzness Show.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Please, we're open.
No. I don't know if we're open. Do you know what the date is? What's the date, Joe?
I can't remember. I don't remember.
Okay, We'll figure that out. But hi, Joe. And I like your beard. Okay, next up, let's talk about the OC Marathon, LA Marathon collision weekend.
Oh, wasn't that crazy? Two very important races, period. And of course, very important races to us because we both announced both.
Yes.
Pick a date outside of their usual calendar because of COVID and cancellations. And they're on the same date. And they're kind of up the street from each other.
Right. Yeah, that was very interesting. Hold on. I'm going to pause for a second. Joe Moreno. It's free in my calendar. September
free on my calendar.
Cities. Let's talk after the show. But yeah, to have OC and LA fall in it. And obviously as a result of the COVID nonsense, because LA is normally in March and OC is normally in May. OC picked the date, November 6th, 1st. And I think LA would have very much liked to work around the OC Marathon date, but that was the only date they could get the stadium. And that is the start line of the LA Marathon. So their hands were tied. And so nobody liked that collision, but we made the best of that collision. Yes.
We did the best we could. We split the resources, and I went to Los Angeles, and you, of course, went to OC.
However, we both got to be at either weekend. And what people may know, they may figure, but gosh, we love our event so much. And not being able to be at one is heartbreaking. And so the fact that I wasn't going to be at LA had a pit in my stomach. And I know Rudy felt the same about OC, but I figured out a way to finagle the situation because OC left out their kids event. So on Saturday morning, we both announced LA Marathon, which was awesome.
LA Marathon.
I'm sorry, LA Big 5K.
Big 5K, right.
Yeah, which was great. Have? 4,000 or 5,000 people out there for the 5K?
Yeah, we're about 5,000. Yeah, that's great.
And here's the thing with LA is, of course, we're very rowdy, but the runners are also very rowdy in response. They're very willing to be, they're very willing parts of the party. There's not a lot of duds at Dodger Stadium. They come through that start line and they're lunatics, don't you think?
Yeah, you know what I think is a big factor at the LA Big 5K, which of course is the day before LA Marathon, the Saturday before, is I think we have a lot of the friends and family of the marathoners come out, and that's their little race. That's their thing.
Race.
As soon as I said that, I want to take it back. It's not a little race; it's a big race. They had their event.
Yes.
Excuse me. And they get really enthusiastic. Go ahead, Fitz.
Okay, so highlights besides the whoopee party at the start, which again, I just love watching it go by and all the happy faces and the celebrations are so fun. But we had the Dodgers third baseman, Justin Turner, run his very first race that day.
That's right. Justin's awesome. And his beard was gone. So I didn't even recognize him.
So I think they walked it. Maybe they did some running, but with the ambassadors, because there's a really solid group of LA Marathon ambassadors. But he comes through the finish, and you weren't on the stage at the moment. So he's wearing a hoodie like this.
He's all incognito.
He goes like this. He's waving at me. And I just, why do we squint to see things better? But I'm looking like, and the microphone, I'm like, Justin? Yes. And then so I was like, come here. I wanted us to have a picture with him. And then of course I started saying, hey, Justin Turner. He was like, don't tell everybody, I'll be mobbed. So keep it on the down low.
He was with his wife, Courtney, and a bunch of friends. He's just become a real iconic part of the LA Marathon weekend. Great guy.
That was really fun. And then the other thing I thought was really awesome was there were all of these people wearing shirts that said Mythical. Yeah. So
Mythical. Here we go. Fitz Kohler's. Go ahead.
Okay. So it's Mythical. And people come in all sorts of weird outfits, uniforms, team shirts, whatever. And so maybe at the end of the 5K, a solid group of 10 people come through wearing this Mythical shirt. And it triggered. It went off in my head. I go, are you guys with Good Mythical Morning now? Some folks may not know what that is, but it's one of the biggest YouTube shows for years. And it's specifically a favorite of my kids. It's these two guys, Rhett and Link, and they're hilarious. And I think they just started it in their basement, and then they moved out to LA, and they do all sorts of big stuff, but they are funny. And so as I say this, because, we think out loud a lot on the microphone, right? Or at least I do. Like, is that Good Mythical Morning? And then they started jumping. They're like, yes, that's us. And then they pointed to Link, one of the stars of the show. And you would have thought it was Elvis resurrected, because
Yes.
You
lost your mind.
Did some sort of cartwheel, some sort of split jump in the air. And you were very kind to come down and take my picture with the Good Mythical Morning crew. But that was a very Los Angeles experience, don't you think?
Yes, and I was very generous to let you I had no idea what was going on. So other than you were very excited and had met somebody that you were very excited about, and that whole group was really fun. Yeah.
Well, at LA, we had, I can't remember her last name, but she was one of the American Idol winners, Jordan something or other.
Right.
She ran, she came by. I'm pretty sure I gave her a hug at the finish line, but I didn't know who she was. She was just runner girl. We've had Gordon Ramsay. He was before my time there, but we have a lot of celebrities run the LA Marathon.
There have been a lot of celebrities, and they're all on the down low, which of course that's the way you need to do it. We've had lots and lots of celebrities come and run LA marathons.
Okay, so is it a chance that I need to get my act together on the celebrity thing and not wig out? I don't know if I think so. I would like to request and make a public request right now for Chris Hemsworth to run the LA Marathon.
Okay. I'll call McCourt Foundation. We'll get that all set up.
Can you do that? And I promise not to wig out and fangirl. So anyway, we did LA Big 5K Saturday morning and the kids races, which were a blast. And then that evening we went over and announced the OC 5K, which again, another rowdy group of runners. I think the OC is the biggest beach party, the biggest running beach party in all of Southern California. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, that one is the whole setup for that one is awesome in that it's in the early evening, late afternoon, early evening. Great band, great music going on.
Yeah.
Excellent course, and the whole beer garden and food trucks and the
What more do you want, right?
Yeah, I don't know if people are coming for the party or coming for the race or a little bit of both or whatever. But yeah, super fun. And I get to keep my streak. How many years have I been announcing? It's every year since the beginning. I think it's 15 years, 16 years.
I think it's maybe 17. We talked about it.
Yeah, I think it's 17.
Yeah, we did that, the OC Marathon show. Lots of live broadcasts for them. It's hard to store the information. I think it's 17. But yeah, you're welcome for me getting you back in the OC.
Thank you, Fitz. Thank you. You're so kind.
You're so lucky. You're so very lucky.
Of course I am.
No, and the other thing about the OC, which is the best, is I feel like it's a high school reunion because not that I went to school over there, but we have so many friends, like all our runner people come to the OC. Don't you feel like that?
Yeah, we get a huge crowd there. I see a lot of friends at LA Marathon, but OC has a great crowd, and and we get to interact with the staff and the key volunteers for all these events who've really become family. It's just really a very special part of the experience for us. A lot of people might not understand that. They think it's all about the hoopla, but there's a lot of good friends that work really hard putting all these on, and we get to spend time with our race directors, and it's fun times.
Yeah, and what is that sound? Across the board, our race organizations are made of such nice people. I go looking forward to the events and the runners, but I can't wait to see our race directors. I think you have to be a sweetie pie to be a race director in most circumstances, right?
You've got to have a lot of stuff, but being nice is always works.
I think we bat about 97.5% on having nice.
I think so too.
Because perfect's boring, but 97.5%, that's where I'm going. Okay. So the next day, you announced the LA Marathon, and they had a big course change and a big finish line change. So what is your thoughts on LA Marathon? Besides, it was super sad with that.
Well, we had really good weather, which was nice. Actually got a little bit warm, cool morning, warm afternoon. Look, starting at Dodger Stadium and ending in Santa Monica right by the pier at the beach is just a very special experience. I know, and of course, LA, we have so many returners, thousands and thousands of people.
LA
Loyal. I'm going to misstate, but I think it's something like 127 legacy runners. Yes. 33 years.
That's crazy.
33. That's incredible. You and I have done a lot of events, across the country where there's legacy, but the legacy tends to be, 25, 30, 40, depending on how long it is. But for that, anyway, it's amazing. And when you change something up, change is hard sometimes. It's just people, get, so everybody, I know people would be preferring to finish at the beach. We finished in Century City, Studio City. I forget, I'm messing up all my cities, which was really nice. A real nice finish venue, a super nice grassed, large finish line festival area. I mean, it was really exceptionally nice. Very metro, very kind of in a downtown atmosphere with high rise. It was really cool. The finish is challenging because you have an incline you have a straight shot incline of about, I think it's about a mile or so. It's no major hill, but from 25 to 26.2, if it's 0.25%, you're going up Everest. You know what? It was a beautiful day. The race got very, very good reviews. McCourt Foundation always puts on a fine event. People made the best of it, and I think overall they really enjoyed the change up. Doesn't mean they don't want to be back in Santa Monica, but I'm just being honest here.
Right. So, two things. Do you have earbuds you can put in? I'm getting an echo from your computer. If not, run and find them. I'm sorry. I know I'm bossing you around.
Yeah, you are bossy.
Super bossy. I'm getting an echo. But here's the other thing with LA is that I think that incline at the end, I think people will start looking forward to that. Almost like the Marine Corps Marathon finishes with an uphill. I think people will take on the LA Marathon incline at the end as a challenge. Jerry Ackles is recommending Snug Buds. Here comes Rudy. This is going to be so much better now.
Are you happy now?
I am happy now. Thank you so much for yielding to my request.
I can only think of a few times I haven't yielded to your request.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, it's, it's certainly a very, very different finish, and, much more difficult than the previous. The thing about it is, though, one of the really super positive things about it is because of security and related issues at Santa Monica.
Right.
As you remember, you have spectators 8 deep coming in toward the finish, and then the last
100
what,
yards.
it's a few hundred
Yeah.
yards. There's no spectators.
Nobody,
So
just
it goes.
us.
It's just you and I, right? And then the press behind us. So it goes from an absolute roar where you can't even hear yourself think
Yeah.
to cricket.
To just Fitz and Rudy.
And some great music,
Right.
of course, your great
Yeah.
music, but still. And here we had family, friends, people there. There were bleachers. McCourt Foundation really found a good spot to finish this up. And you're going up this hill and you just turn the corner and there you are.
I love it.
It was, I'm glad you brought that up because that's a real positive difference in the finish line.
I can't wait to be there. And I love the roar of the crowd, and forget what I love. The runners love the roar of the crowd. It just creates an electric environment. I can't wait to be a part of it in March.
I'm laughing at Jerry's Snug Buds. I'll give them a shout out. That is a great product, and I hope to see them back at the expos.
Oh, Snug Buds. Okay. Next, you were there being so sad, pretending to be happy in LA without me. But I know you were so sad. But I got to announce OC Marathon. Always so special to me because it was the very first race I ever announced, OC Marathon. And being there with Gary, of course, on his return to racing after such a long break, Gary and Kelsey, which is incredible. But as per usual, biggest running beach party in all of Southern California on half marathon morning. And we ditched the marathon just for this year because of logistics and things. It was just better to do the half only. But our runners were so rowdy. And we had beach balls bopping around. Our mayors, you know how sometimes you have to turn the microphone over to a political dignitary just to, scratch the back of the city giving you a permit? These mayors were really fun. There was two, one from Newport Beach, one from Costa Mesa, and they kept it short, sweet, upbeat. And I had the crowd going pretty bonkers, and We Will Rock You On, and everyone on the stage clapping, and was so cute because Gary thought I was going to leave the start line. He had a backup plan there because he wanted to drive me to the finish. OC half and full marathon are point to point. So we actually have to drive 13 miles, but we had so much time. He was like, we got to go. I said, no, I'm staying. He's like, no, we got to go. Someone else will take over. And I think start line's most important component of the entire race weekend, because that's the only time where 100% of us are there together.
Right.
That's it. That's where you get the roar and the camaraderie and the spirit and the weekend type experience, because the runners they trickle through the finish line. So he kept saying, we got to go. And we had 6 or 8 corrals and they were spaced 5 minutes apart. Okay, Fitz, we got to go. And I kept saying, no, I'm not leaving them. They were too happy. And if I left, it would have been. So it was very, very funny, this back and forth. He was panicking. I was like, just hang out. We'll make it there and fine. Of course, we made it to the finish line with 25 minutes to spare. But at the end, what I said, just combine the last 2 corrals and we'll get out of here faster. So they put wave 5 and 6 together, and they were Looney Tunes bonkers. They were so much fun. And my favorite part, there's a video of that start line, is of Gary Kutcher, our race director. And he's, after saying, we got to leave, he was partying the hardest. And he's such a sweetie pie. So it was real delight for me. And then after I yelled go, usually I yell go, and then we say nice things and interact with our runners. I yelled go. A second I got it out, he grabbed me underneath the ribs and spun me around to carry me off the stage. It was hilarious. We had a really fun time. And
I think Gary momentarily forgot who he hired to do that.
No, I was like, Gary, I wasn't going to leave that. So poor Gary, so sweet. It worked out, thankfully. And we did have plenty of time at the finish line. But of course, deep down, we were also very sad that you were not with us.
Yeah.
It was tears through. We fought through the pain to have a good time. But yeah, it was wonderful as per usual. And the thing I forget sometimes when I get to the finish line is we're right near John Wayne Airport. And so as our runners are charging towards the finish line, there's all these jets taking off. It's just
pretty cool.
Cool so backdrop. Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful start, beautiful finish. All right. Here's Jerry Ackles again. He likes the starts because any shout outs that I get there because we know him. Yeah. Not because you are reading it off the computer. Yep.
Right. Well, Jerry, your family, you know, so whether or not you think you have a choice, you are family.
That's right. That's right. And I think a lot of the athletes don't know is, you know, given the right circumstances and the right announcers is we want to know as many of our athletes as possible. There's so many people that walk in, never have running a race before. They've never even been to the city. And then, you know, we're having dinner with them later that night. And when we see them at the start, we're genuinely excited. We're so fortunate to have these people in our life, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, and each new city we go to, we make new friends and new families. And, you know, we'll be talking about a couple of those in a couple of moments.
Yeah. So Jerry posted a photo on Facebook today. I met him at a start line 5 years ago in a parking lot. And he just happened, and I was a runner. He was a runner, but he was wearing a Big Sur hat. And of course we announced Big Sur. And so I saw it. I said, have you run Big Sur? And then we had the conversation, and now I love Jerry. And I think he loves me back. It's all a win-win, right?
Always.
Okay, so LA Marathon's coming back. I think it's maybe March 17th this year. Does that sound familiar? Or March? No, it's March 20th.
March 19th and 20th that weekend.
Correct. And then the OC Marathon will be April 30th and May 1st. So it'll straddle the weekends. But yeah, both of those you need to head to. You can actually do them both again this year. Yay. All right. Next up, you weren't there, St. Pete Run Fest, which you would love.
Yeah, it sounds like that's just an amazing event. Super. Again, gee, I'm so surprised. Find you at another major party factor.
It's such good vibes. So the race directors are two brothers, Keith and Ryan Jordan. And I believe this was the fourth presentation. It would have been the fifth year, but I believe it was the fourth presentation of this race. But from the get-go, they started off high end. We had the best of everything, and they bring great swag. So I hate to start about the swag, but the medals are beautiful. The shirts are great. But the second you cross the finish line, they hand you a Tervis tumbler filled with strawberry smoothie. You're not just getting water. You're getting smoothie in a fancy cup. And then they give you an embroidered towel. And then you go into the Finish Line Festival, and there's Outback Steakhouse and Carrabba's and Bonefish giving out steak and bang bang shrimp and chicken. And then there's beer. And they have this insane VIP situation where I've never seen anything like it. So in many races, you can pay extra, and then you can go into a place before the race. Maybe it's warm. Maybe there's personalized or more private bathrooms, porta potties. I think they had something like 800 people participate in the VIP situation, and it was run so well. I think her name was Michelle. Yeah, Michelle, and she was wearing some sort of sombrero all weekend, and you have fun little Mexican dresses, and people were going bonkers. They had piñatas where little bottles of tequila fell out.
Well, you know, that's really cool. A number of races have now, you know, caught on to the VIP experience thing. It's a great marketing tool. It's you know, it's a little more revenue, but it's really nice when there's some real value there, some really nice experiences and some real value. So congratulations to them. Sounds like they really put it together, put a nice package.
It was great. And then I got a sombrero, which obviously makes my day to have a special hat, a race announcing hat. What else? Oh, and the actual races, let me pause and back up. Beautiful. It is so Florida. It's a posh part of Florida with this gorgeous harbor filled with these beautiful boats, and the sunrise looks like we paid the sun to do it like that. We're just going to arrange the sun to show up and be extra glam on race morning. just spectacular. The weather is cool, and we've had a couple years where it was super cold, but beautiful. And then this is the other thing that's super good. Kids races are a blast, but we have the Mascot Races.
Oh, those are always great.
Yeah, and this year we always have the Tampa Bay Rowdies. That's our soccer team. He comes out. We've got the Bull from the University of South Florida. But this year we had Dino the dinosaur from Flintstones, and more than just this. But then we had we had one character from the Family Guy, Stewie, the little baby with the football head. The Outback Steakhouse Onion was out there again, and he's a super great guy. So anyways, just a fun time. The Tampa Rays, the baseball team, send out Ray, the Stingray. So good time had by all. And we do a 40-yard dash for charity. And that's really where the money is, Rudy, because I get to watch grown-ups. That is right. Full-blown grown-ups risk a hamstring tear by dashing 40 yards, quite often to beat either each other or their kid, which is semi-hysterical.
Yeah, with a little or no warm up. 40-yard dash. Yeah, not happening.
No, I even got our race director, Ryan. He walked by, and you know how I like to sucker people into doing ridiculous things. So I was like, here's Ryan. Ryan's going to do the 40-yard dash. And I get the side eye and the look. One of those. Okay, fine. So he goes and gives his $10 to the charity. He ran it. Great time. He's a super good sport. And then Mr. John Pelkey took him on as well. So Ryan beat John, but yeah.
Congratulations. I'd love to see John do a 40-yard dash.
It's everything you'd wish for. The only bad part is I did not have out my cell phone, but it's worth a pretty penny if you could get your hands on that video. It was beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah. And anyway, so
and when is that one? Fitz?
That one's always the second weekend of November.
Okay.
Yeah. So wonderful race. Highly recommend. And they put on the St. Pete Pier Run on 4th of July, it's a 4-miler, and that's fantastic too. Okay. Next on our list for both of us, Route 66. In Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, my second year, your first year. And what a fun time. What a fun city. Totally fun city. I'm just always impressed with Tulsa. It's just really, really cool. Great people. Super fun event.
Yeah, I had no idea. I mean, I've never been to Tulsa before, and it was beautiful. The downtown area was very lovely. Lots of posh little shops and great restaurants and so forth. They have that gathering place, which remind me a bit of Central Park.
A mini Central Park with just so many different little features, and it was beautiful and just amazing.
So I do believe it was specifically created to provide Tulsaans, what do we call them? Tulsanians or whatever. Those folks who live there, and then visitors, a special place to gather, something to do outdoors. I believe it was created with oil money, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Because it's
correct.
Oklahoma.
I can't remember the name. I think the land was donated by one of the large oil benefactors, families, and then other entities. There's just so many little pieces. There's the lake with boats and
canoes and paddle boats.
I remember I was really blown away, and it takes a lot to impress me, but that was incredible. That was really a good time. Beautiful park.
They have this enormous area dedicated to playgrounds of all sorts, but they're not just a playground you'd see at a regular park. They're custom made, ornate, clever playgrounds that made me wish, oh my gosh, I wish I lived here when I was raising my kids. We could have spent hours there every day. The perfect free place to get outdoors. And when we went, there was a middle school field trip there. And you know how that 12 and 13-year-old age group is very hard to please.
Right.
They were having the best time ever.
Totally engaged.
I mean, it was half a mile worth of playgrounds, right?
And I want to say it one more time because I was amazed. Free. Absolutely free. That's incredible.
Yeah. And they have a big lodge when you enter that you could just go do business. You could have a meeting. You could sit with your laptop or have a nap, whatever. Don't be homeless and doing the
several fireplaces with fires roaring. And it was cold. Oh, it was wonderful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And then there's sports facilities, I believe tennis courts and things that we didn't even get to see, but that was a cool part of Tulsa. But the races Yeah, they build themselves as the largest, the biggest block party in Tulsa. Is
Yeah.
that right?
Well, yeah, definitely the biggest block party in Tulsa. I think it might
Oklahoma?
be the world.
The world, perhaps. They could change that.
They could. I don't know, but that is a hardcore party event.
Holy smokes. And so I was warned, but I did not know. And big high fives to the executive director, Destiny Green. She's a fun gal, and she's very articulate and pointed. She knows exactly what she wants, but she also has this easy spirit about her and surrounds herself with wonderful directors. They're professional people from the community that volunteer to direct a component of the race. It reminds me very much of the Big Sur Blue Jackets, which is high praise. But yeah, these professionals that were lawyers, and they owned car dealerships and physicians, like big time professionals pitching in to manage. They were all so lovely and intelligent and capable.
Destiny being, and I think this is really worthy of bringing up, and it's a theme that runs through almost all of our races, if not
Yeah.
all. Destiny is the one employee. All the rest are volunteers, and as you said, high level individuals within the community. And Orange County, a small handful, like
Yeah.
three
Yeah.
employees. Big Sur, we could go on and on.
Yeah.
It's amazing, because a lot of people think a lot of these big races are huge mega corporate organizations, and they are not.
No, they're
They are
not.
not.
So going back to the racing, we are 5K kids race, or 1 mile, and Mascot Races on Saturday were an absolute blast. Lots of fun. If you wanted to just travel to Tulsa to go do the Route 66 5K, it would be a worthy investment. But let us tell you about the marathon and half marathon, because they call it the biggest cocktail party, like the most alcohol served on any race course in America. And it's true.
Pretty much.
What the heck was going on out on that course?
Well, all the homes along the route are out there serving Jello shots and Fireball and tequila shooters and
OMG. We had so many people, and mind you, these weren't like frat guys coming through drunk. This was Aunt Sue, who was 62, and whatever.
Right.
We had a few of these grown-ups tell us after, I don't remember the second half of the race because I had too much to drink.
How
It's a
was
full marathon.
How was your run? I think it was pretty good. I finished.
Whoa. And then they would come through the finish line holding their little mini bottles, shouting Fireball. What did we have? 50 people shout Fireball at the finish?
They weren't looking for the song.
Oh my gosh, crazy. It was so fun and funny. And then even at the start line, we like all of our races to be rowdy. And I think that's our what do we do that? That's our shtick, right? Is big fun.
Yeah, big fun.
Big fun. That's our shtick. We're going with that. Big fun. But the crowds were insanity. And then they had these confetti cannons that didn't just, we yell go and it goes pop. The confetti cannons kept going while all 8,000 people ran through. This place looked like Times Square on New Year's Eve. It was incredible.
Yeah, that was more confetti than I've ever seen before. That's for sure. It was just nonstop. Like you said, it wasn't a puff. It was a stream that just continued.
Yeah, and you wouldn't believe it unless you were there. And the last person to start, because we had corrals A, B, C, and D, D being the big party corral.
Right.
And where we do the wave. We had everyone do the wave, which is, iconic. But the confetti kept going. And then the last person went through. The confetti was still going. I had confettis in my pockets. When I came home, cleaning out my luggage, there was confetti on my jacket, my hoodie, my underwear, confetti everywhere. It was fantastic.
And then we had, you and I did that shakeout run the day before. It was so much fun. Had a really nice little crowd, and that's where that was an interesting event where you turned to me at some point as we're running together and said, we've been doing this for over 7 years together.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we've ever run together.
That's right.
Ever.
Right. Yeah.
That was crazy.
I was
Fun
very
time.
disappointed in your running. Just teasing. No, you were very good at running. Look at you. You did a good job.
Thank you. Well, I had this thing called a new hip.
No, that's a power.
No.
That's like a extra perk.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that was so awesome. We had fun. I had actually never led a shakeout run before.
Yeah, it's a fun time, when you get just a really nice group of people, just kind of, loosening up and getting ready for a big day. What's this? What's this from Deborah?
You guys are a bad influence. I can't wait to retire, travel, and run all the races.
Go do it. Do it today.
So this is worthy of mentioning because we have some people and I don't know where they get the resources and the time, but man, are they committed. So Beth Kent, for examples, for starters, she showed up in Fargo. Well, she was in Buffalo over the summer, but she showed up in Fargo. She was at Orange County. Where else did she come? She was at my Gasparilla event. She was at St. Pete Run Fest. So Beth lives in Fort Lauderdale, bing, 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 all over the country. Sean Matlock was at OC, Fargo, and another Route 66.
I think Sean secretly owns an airline.
I think so.
He goes everywhere. That's, I'll tell you what, that's just one of the fun things, one of the really extra fun things that you and I get to experience is, some of our friends they don't hesitate to get on a plane and come and join us. And it makes it really special for us too. When we see friends stalking us. We love to be stalked.
I love the stalkers. I know. I think in St. Pete Run Fest when I went to get Beth and I traditionally try and keep an eye out on our friends and I get down and I'll grab them and I'll run them through the finish line with the hands up. And so Beth, I have her coming through one of the finish lines. And of course she shows up and she does all the races offered. So she's going to run the 5K and the 10K and the half. But at one point I was telling John and everybody else on the microphone and Beth was with me in Fargo and in California. And John yells out, "So she's your stalker. Is this what you're telling us?" Yes, the best kind. I'm so grateful for all our friends. And you know what? Some people get stuck on one event. They're going to do this race. It's one race. And it's nice to have your home race to be loyal to. But if you spend all your money and all your time there and you don't reserve any to go explore, what a travesty, right?
Yeah, get out and try different things, things you haven't done before. Also, try the small events, the small local events. They can be a lot of fun. Do you remember at Route 66, we went to a very, very special place and had a very unique experience that you can only have.
Center of the universe, is that it?
We went to the center of the universe.
That's right, which is a weird little circle made of concrete. Is it on a bridge or near a bridge?
It's right near a bridge, I think. Right in front of.
Tell them about it.
Yeah. Well, it's the center of the universe, clearly. And when you stand on this one marked area and you speak or shout or whatever you want to do, you can hear yourself.
It echoes back in your face.
And if you move a step to the right, a step to the left, either way, it's gone. If you go right back to that spot, you're in the center of the universe and all is well.
Yeah, that was really fun. And we actually on our shakeout run, which I think was 1.5 miles or something, it was very short, which
25 miles.
That's right. It was very, very long. If you want to ever do a shakeout run before the race day and you're worried about it being lengthy, don't, because in general, they're kept very short and you could run, you could walk. In fact, I was up at the front for a while and then I went back to run with the people in the back. So I was like, back of the pack. Those are my people anyways. But yeah, we stopped mid shakeout run and anyone who wanted to could stand in the center of the universe and say words. And you know what's so funny is, so I just said words or something like that, but Rudy instantly got on and he started hosting from the center. I don't remember what you were saying, but now you were doing a presentation. It was hilarious.
Good times.
Very good. So everyone now is going to Route 66 Marathon. That is the weekend before Thanksgiving.
Right. Yeah, super race. I would highly encourage anybody. Also, a good 50 stater. Good 50 stater. Yeah.
And didn't we have 450 staters or something like that there?
We had somewhere between 400 and 500. They use it for it's an annual
Like a
gathering.
recognition
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. And we had one gentleman, one of the 50 staters. I should know his name. I don't recall it offhand. And he was running his 724th marathon or something like that. What?
I know. What's wrong with that guy, or what's right with him? That's actually what we need to do. Like
Right.
him and Tom Brady, we need to get the DNA, spread it around. Oh, sidebar. I did ancestry.com and my results came in last night.
Okay.
So I'm going to share that later. But I'm very excited. I was announcing local high school basketball just as a favor to the high school. They asked me, I come in and introduce the kids and stuff, but I was sitting there and all of a sudden, boom, your results are in. And yes, I am exactly where you think I'm from. Okay. Next, moving on from Route 66, Bridge Run, Savannah Bridge Run, which I announced without you, Catrice Day, although race director Caitlin Presti would love to have you. She's got a big crush on the Rudy.
Well, I'm available, Caitlin. And from everything Fitz has told me, you put on an amazing show. And am I right that this was the first time that she was official race director handling the whole affair?
That's right. So she works with Rob Wells at the Savannah Sports Council, but she came over she was working with Dimsey Sports, Dave McGillivray, sporting events or whatever in Boston, and got hired. And she was with us at the final bridge run of 2019. And then 2020 was canceled. She was supposed to have her first outing being a race director at the Public Savannah Women's Half Marathon in April. Then that got pushed back to November. Then it got canceled. The bridge run got canceled. Then the women's run got canceled again and pushed back and canceled. And so the poor thing has had 2 solid years of cancellations of her race directing. And man, she hit it out of the park. She was so great. And one of the nice things for me, and it just demonstrated her attention to detail. She reached out several weeks and said, Fitz, at the start and the finish line, I will have a table for you for your book and your cowbell. And it's funny, we get a stage, but sometimes people forget that we have stuff and they don't give us anything to put it on. And so we have to awkwardly hold our binder and the microphone and the cowbell, like stash it in your armpit. So she's like, I'm going to have this, and there. Where would you like the speakers to face at the finish? She knows I'm a little detailed about those things. So she was really just on top of things. And then the bridge run is awesome. It starts, the finish line is in downtown Savannah, and the start line of the 5K is on the far side of this big old mile-long bridge. And I can't remember the name of the island, or I would say it, but it's, I believe, in South Carolina. Anyway, we start the 5K over there. We had Forrest Gump himself came, and he said a few words to the crowd. I pressed him a little further and he stopped it because he had to pee. So I don't mind. But anywho, yell go. I yell from the back of the pace car. So I get to take a ride over the bridge, which is so lovely. And it makes me so jealous of the runners. I mean, as many people don't understand, but we do not run the races we announce because we have to be there for the last person to start and the first person to finish. And we're simply not world-class speed. But yeah, so I got to go in the pace car. And so they run a mile over the bridge. And if you are doing the 5K, you go over once. I could be wrong. That bridge might be 2 miles long. I think I was wrong. It's a 2-mile bridge. And so they get into downtown Savannah. And then there's a second race that starts right at that finish line, the 10K. And so you either run the 5K or you run the 10K, which is Savannah to the other side of the bridge back. And then some people do both. So it's a 5K, 10K, and the double pump. But absolute blast, beautiful course, beautiful. I mean, it's downtown Savannah, so it's got all the charms. But then we have a costume contest. And I think more races should do this. But they put up a $400 prize for the group and the individual with the best costumes. And, okay, hold on. She's saying Tybee Island. I'm not convinced that's right. It might be Buffy, but okay. Oh, look at this, Jerry. Talmadge Bridge, some Hutchinson Island. That's it. Jerry Ackles for the win. You get a kiss blown at you. Well done. And good guess, Buffy. Look, Jerry's showing up with just under 2 miles. That's right. It's just under 2 miles. Thank you. He has rucksacked that race before. He and Yesenia came a couple of times, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, because it's not hard enough just to run. Throw 30, 40, 50 pounds in a backpack, essentially.
typical Jerry stuff. And then Yesenia will do it. His wife, she'll come and she'll just look hot while running and then do some complaining somewhere. And then we have brunch. So it's all good. But anyways, the costume contest, insanity, because we had all these individuals. We had a lot of Christmas characters because it's in December, but then our groups were amazing. We had this group of women called Girl Trek. There was maybe 40 of them, and they're called dashinkis. I might be screwing that up. Dashinki, the African shirts, and they all had the Afro wigs. Oh my God, they were so much fun. They came out with their afros and their sass and swagger. And then we had a group of pirate hockey players, and they all like messed up their teeth. So they had missing teeth and black eyes and hockey sticks. They ran with hockey sticks. And then we had the murder hornets. So the hornet costume, and they ran with knives. And so I let them kill me at the finish line. Anyway, fun. That's the moral of the story. You get to see Forrest Gump. You get to go over the bridge a couple times. Beautiful downtown Savannah, and lots of costume and shenanigans. So good.
Like a good time. Good time.
So good. So good. All right. So the bridge run will be back next December, and the Public Savannah Women's Half Marathon will be April 2nd. But we'll talk about that next week. And then last on our list, which even though it didn't turn out the way we wanted, it was still awesome. Rocket City Marathon weekend in Huntsville, Alabama.
What a great weekend for a race that
didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, fantastic city, wonderful town. I mean, called Rocket City for a really, really good reason. It's all about NASA and rocket and space development, space exploration and development. I'm embarrassed to say, but it's true. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And when you're there, and we went to the Space Center,
the Space Museum,
Museum, which was amazing. Beyond amazing.
They had rockets and shuttles. Actually, the shuttle was out being renovated, but Saturn. How big was Saturn? It's like 100 yards.
Yeah. But race directors Dana and Dwayne DeBartoleben worked all year long. They're new to the event. They're volunteers, as is everybody at Rocket City.
Zero paid employees.
All volunteer staff. They had a COVID cancellation, as so many did.
Last year.
The previous year. Worked all year to put this together. Everybody excited. We had a nice little expo. We had a really nice little expo.
In the convention center.
In the convention center, which was lovely. And, Fitz and I explored the city and had, and really got kind of chauffeured around very, very nicely. Just met some wonderful, wonderful people. And we also met a major storm. A
variety of storms. Yes.
A whole bunch of storms.
Yeah. This weekend was Tornado Alley's time to shine. And fortunately, in Huntsville, we did not get any nightmare storms. We had lots and lots of rain, but it wasn't the kind that did all the damage and took homes and lives throughout the Southeast. However, these are the things that the race still has to offer. They went all out with this comic book theming. Mm-hmm. So they actually had a comic book created for the Rocket City Marathon, including bad guys and heroes. And the bad guy was Dr. Red, evil professor that was harvesting energy to do bad things. And the only people that could save the world from Dr. Red were our runners. And so the comic book was beautiful and told this incredible tale. And so as you showed up or were supposed to show up at the start line, you were going to be part of this comic book adventure. And it was very well done, very beautiful. Don't you think? I thought it was so clever.
It was very professional. I mean, picking up the comic book, you wouldn't know that it wasn't a superheroes type of production. It was absolutely fantastic. Very well thought out. A lot of work. I cannot remember the name of the artist that was
That's okay. It's okay.
Right, but he was incredible. It was super, super fun.
Okay.
And
All right, Rudy, I'm going to let you tell them some more things. You're now the host. I'm going to go get the medal because I have a medal. I want everyone to see
the medal's awesome. Go get the medal.
So you be the host.
Okay, I'm the host. So anyway, yeah, we had a nice little expo, because the expos have either been, none or smaller, and they put together a really nice little expo, bunch of really fun vendors, and we were watching the storm. The storm was progressing from the race is Saturday, so it's not a Sunday race; it's a Saturday race. So the storm was progressing from Friday. We had the kids event on Friday evening, which was really fun. And we're finishing in the convention center. So it's a really cool enclosed area, weatherproof and really nicely done. The kids had a great time, and we're watching this weather front, and the weather came. And so, okay. But anyway, everybody got.
Did you do a good job?
No, I did a terrible job. Nobody's going to host like you. Okay. So glad you're back. It was brutal.
All right. Medal. I've never seen one like this, but remember, Rocket City Marathon. Look at that. It lights
up. Totally awesome.
How amazing is that? Look closer. I have never seen a light up medal. Have you, Rudy?
I don't think I've seen a light up, see some action ones and stuff like that. I don't remember seeing a light up. And of course, OC Marathon has some pretty epic medals, let's give credit where credit's due. But no, that's really cool.
Is that so fun?
And by the way, folks, just so you know, we know how you get your medals. Fitz and I get them the old fashioned way. We go to the race director and we say, we need 2 medals, please.
Give me a medal. That's right.
Give me a medal.
That's right. I forget sometimes, but I actually have I have most of my races. I have a souvenir medal. The only one I missed out on is I forgot to get one at Philadelphia, which is a super bummer because I'm such a patriot and I really love the Liberty Bell and I don't have one. I should probably ask them to send me one. But anyway, look at that, right? Rocket City, Huntsville, Alabama. This thing should be a sellout one day.
You know what? It's going to sell out next year. There is a 5K, a kids run. There is a half marathon. Oh, half of the marathon. They don't call it a half marathon. They call it a half of the marathon.
Yeah, half the marathon.
And a marathon. Next year, there's going to be 2 half of the marathons. I believe one is going to go in one direction and one the other, both, of course, finishing in the same area. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, Rocket City, put it on your. Oh, and that race has been happening for, I believe, 43 years. It has a 43-year history. So this is no Johnny come lately. And also, just, maybe just kind of wrap up the situation on the race that didn't happen. Race directors sometimes have to make extremely difficult decisions.
Right.
We've Fitz and I both have experienced a number of cancellations and hard decisions. This one, as all of them are, is about, number one, the safety of all the participants and, of course, the volunteers and spectators, everybody that's involved and is going to be out there on race day. They had to make a tough call. And when Fitz and I remember calling Fitz in her room and saying, look, this is the morning of the marathon. Look out of your window, and the rain is going sideways, literally going sideways in sheets, and the wind is whipping up 30, 40 knots. It was the right decision. The only thing that made it really brutal was Sunday morning.
The next morning.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
The sun is out. Dry, it's beautiful, there's no wind, the birds are chirping.
Time is everything. But you know what, they had a great attitude about it, and they said, thankfully we had that indoor space already, and she had 2 fun hosts, so we said, come on down, come and get your medal. It'll be a memento now, a souvenir memento. Use it however you like it. And then we have lots of food and drinks and some fun stuff, and we had everybody come through, and our photographers were there. So people staged their own finish line photos and leaped and posed. And we really still had a fun time. And that's what matters most, is how you handle it. There's good spirits of the athletes. And, we watched the morning news and we saw all the death and destruction that had gone on in the Southeast, it's really hard to complain about losing a race. And then another race from across the state, I forget which one, said, hey guys, if you want to come run tomorrow over here, we'll give you a major discount. Which race was that?
The Gulf Coast, Biloxi.
That's right. What a class act. That was a really nice move. And a lot of our athletes went. They went the next day and they took, they had trained for a marathon and a half marathon. So they went and did it over yonder. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. That's making lemonade out of lemons,
That's right. And really, I just love when we all get to be together. I love everybody so much. I want to marry everybody and have them all come sleep at my house and wake up together and have a happy running family life.
Yes, let's do that. Oh my goodness. Hey, we're going overtime here, girl. Big time.
You know what? This is my show. We can go as long as we want, Rudy.
Okay.
Do what I want. Are you kidding? It's a Fitzness show. Okay. So thank you so much for reminiscing with me, with all of us, because I want people to know about our events and what the high points are and why they should come spend all their time with us next year.
And then real soon our calendars are starting to get full. Lots of great races we'd like to tell you more about and like to see you at. And I think we have a discount code, so check the Facebook pages and Instagram for the codes for those races. A lot of great stuff coming up.
My full schedule is on my Fitzness Facebook page. It's soon to hit my website, and we'll get it on the Team Noisy page too. Perhaps the other half of Team Noisy could put together his schedule and help out a little bit. What do you think?
Oh, no pressure there. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Also, we have some good feedback I don't want to ignore before the show ends. So Jerry Ackles referenced with you hosting. He laughed. He cried. It became a part of him. So
nice. Attaboy, Jerry. Thanks, Jerry.
Buffy, Philly should totally send you a medal after getting an air horn blown in my ear. That was classic. That was just some corporate executive guy with the air horn. Instead of blaring it that way, he just decided that my ear needed a little bit of a good time. Thank you for that. And then Philip's just yammering over there. We love you, Philip. That's all you need to know. We love you. Jerry, thank you for the kudos. And the next one's going to be really good because we're going to talk about the upcoming races. So not everything, but most everything on our schedule is going to get plugged next time. And then Philip, thank you, kids. You're both the best. There you go. Philip has important things to say. All right, Mr. Novotny. Hey, if people want to follow you, how do they do that?
I'm on Facebook. So I do have an Instagram. I do have an Instagram that doesn't get a lot of use, but just follow me on Facebook. That's the best place. I'm old school, old guy, old school, but love hearing from you and happy running to everybody.
Absolutely, Rudy. You're an awesome guy, not old guy. And then I'm at Fitzness everywhere. Instagram, YouTube, fitzness.com just got a facelift. So I want everyone to go to fitzness.com, check it out. Tell me if I made any mistakes. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you hated. Maybe it could be a part of you like Jerry. And then don't forget my book is now in stock. So if you order it at fitzness.com, I'll sign it and send it with love. All right.
Now your website got a facelift, not you. I just want to be really 100%
Well, if I need one, I'll get one, Rudy. You just let me know.
I'll let you know.
Critique my face. Okay. We love everybody. Get to work.
Take care. Get to work. Bye-bye.
Bye. Now you got to dance, Rudy.